Be an amateur. To be creative, disciplined, and to reach your goals, stay an amateur. If you've been chasing perfection, worrying about fame, comparing yourself to others, or building your ego instead of your craft, stop right there. Be an amateur. Why? Because amateurs create for love, not applause. They explore without fear of failure. They try, they learn, they grow, and in doing so they inspire others. The amateur isn't afraid to look foolish, because they understand something the perfectionist forgets. You can't master anything if you're too afraid to begin. So forget the pressure of being professional. Forget the spotlight. Just start. With heart, curiosity, and courage. Because in a world obsessed with success, being an amateur is your greatest advantage. That's all any of us are, amateurs. We don't live long enough to be anything else. Charlie Chaplin. We're all terrified of being revealed as amateurs. But in fact, today it is the amateur, the enthusiast who pursues her work in the spirit of love. In French, the word means lover, regardless of the potential for fame, money, or career, who often has the advantage over the professional. Because they have little to lose, amateurs are willing to try anything and share the results. They take chances, experiment, and follow their whims. Sometimes, in the process of doing things in an unprofessional way, they make new discoveries. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, said Zen monk Shunryu Suzuki. In the expert's mind, there are few. Amateurs are not afraid to make mistakes or look ridiculous in public. They're in love, so they don't hesitate to do work that others think of as silly or just plain stupid. The stupidest possible creative act is still a creative act, writes Clay Shirky in his book Cognitive Surplus. On the spectrum of creative work, the difference between the mediocre and the good is vast. Mediocrity is, however, still on the spectrum. You can move from mediocre to good in increments. The real gap is between doing nothing and doing something. Amateurs know that contributing something is better than contributing nothing. Amateurs might lack formal training, but they're all lifelong learners, and they make a point of learning in the open so that others can learn from their failures and successes. Writer David Foster Wallace said that he thought good non-fiction was a chance to watch somebody reasonably bright, but also reasonably average pay, far closer attention, and think at far more length about all sorts of different stuff than most of us have a chance to in our daily lives. Amateurs fit the same bill. They're just regular people who get obsessed by something and spend a ton of time thinking out loud about it. Sometimes, amateurs have more to teach us than experts. It often happens that two schoolboys can solve difficulties in their work for one another better than the master can, wrote author C.S. Lewis. The fellow pupil can help more than the master because he knows less. The difficulty we want him to explain is one he has recently met. The expert met it so long ago he has forgotten. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. Amateurs are not afraid to make mistakes or look ridiculous in public. They're in love, so they don't hesitate to do work that others think of as silly or stupid. Raw enthusiasm is contagious, wrote musician and artist Jonathan Lethem. Following your bliss is a lot easier when you're not weighed down by years of experience. Being a fan is one of the best things you can be. Our enthusiasm for our interests and hobbies can inspire others to share their own work and do the same. The world is changing at such a rapid rate that it's turning us all into amateurs. Even for professionals, the best way to flourish is to retain an amateur's spirit and embrace uncertainty and the unknown. When Radiohead frontman Thom Yorke was asked what he thought the greatest strength was, he answered, "None of us know what I'm doing." Like one of his heroes, Tom Waits, when Yorke feels like his songwriting is getting too comfortable or predictable, he'll pick up an instrument he doesn't know how to play and try to write with it. This is another trait of amateurs. They'll use whatever tools they can get their hands on to try to get their ideas into the world. "I'm an artist, man," said John Lennon. "Give me a tuba and I'll get you something out of it." The best way to get started on the path to sharing your work is to think about what you want to learn and make a commitment to learning it in front of others. Find a scene, pay attention to what others are sharing, and then start taking note of what they're not sharing. Be on the lookout for voids that you can fill with your own efforts, no matter how bad they are at first. Don't worry, for now, about how you'll make money or a career off it. Forget about being an expert or a professional, and wear your amateurism, your heart, your love, on your sleeve. Share what you love, and the people who love the same things will find you. Remember, greatness begins with the courage to start. Embrace being an amateur. Learn openly, create fearlessly, and grow with passion. Every expert was once a beginner who dared to begin. Keep improving your English and your mindset here on English Corner, where learning never stops and every story helps you move forward. Thanks for being here. Kindly like and subscribe for more.